This beautiful box contains the ashes of our beautiful baby girl, Erica. Erica, I found out I was pregnant with her sometime in April of 2011, and we were excited, but we were nervous because it had been such a short time between the time we lost Junior. We were a little nervous, but we were rightfully so. But we didn't want to tell anybody until we were further along, just in case. But we couldn't hold it in. We were very excited. My husband had gone and picked up a couple tests just in case. First one I took, I did wrong, and it came out all wonky, so I had to use the second one, and I got a plus sign. I set it down on the counter. I went to go get my husband and to show him, and of course, even though we wanted to wait, it didn't take us long to decide to put the test up on Facebook to show everybody that we were expecting another child. I knew from the start that it was going to be a little girl, and we had already picked the name out, and we just thought it was very beautiful. She was named after a friend of Christopher's that he had known for quite a long time, and I thought that would be a great comfort to him, and I liked the name anyway. We were excited, and all our ultrasounds and learning of the heartbeat and all that, we just grew more excited. We had more spirits visiting us as I was pregnant with her. One particular one was a female that would haunt me in my dreams. I would see her when I was awake, and again she would reach into my stomach. In my dreams, when she would haunt me, she was a very tall blonde, very dark eyes, and she would let me know that she, with no buts about it, she was after my husband and wanted me out of the way. And she had informed me that the only way to do that, in her eyes, was to take away the one thing at that time that we were both so excited for. Day after day, and didn't matter which room I was in, she would reach into my stomach. Our roommate at the time had finally moved out, and so we took over the master bedroom, and we closed off the spare room which we were in. One day I went in there to check on something. I opened the door, and it felt like I was being attacked. I felt hands reaching for my throat, and I couldn't breathe. I quickly backed off and closed the door, scared half to death. From that day on, I kept that door closed, but the female spirit was still around. I then asked my husband to ask that spirit and to let her know under no pretenses that she was not what he wanted. And I watched him walk into the bedroom where she had haunted me most of the time. And he let her know that there was no way he was going to be hers. Which angered her and made her more strong for some reason. I was pregnant when a set of Mormon missionaries came to visit at the door, and we let them in. I asked them, because I knew they were very strong spiritual people, to bless the house. Little did I know that the night before, the spirit had reached into my body and already took the thing that mattered most. The next day I had an appointment. It was 22 weeks. The doctor looked all over for a heartbeat and couldn't find one. I started to panic. I didn't want to believe that yet again we were losing another one. They took me to the ultrasound room down the hall, and he watched as a nurse also could not find a heartbeat, which was hard because a week before that is when I found out for sure that it was a girl. And I was telling my husband jokingly, "I told you so." And here we were, 22 weeks in, reliving the same nightmare again. The nurse quickly left the room and the doctor came in and looked at the screen. I could see the screen. It was blue, which means there was nothing there. Which was hard. I sat up. And I hugged the doctor. The doctor, after I hugged him, had left the room, and they asked if my husband and I would like a moment. And we both agreed. The doctor said he'd be back in a little bit. I just couldn't stop crying. Again, we lost another. We're not sure why. We have more theories than the doctor, but mother's intuition, right? Anyway, the doctor came back in and gave us the choice of either waiting to give birth until the body wanted it to go in labor, or if we just wanted to go over and have it done, or if we wanted to go back later. We had a few things to do that day, and he wanted to go to his work and let them know that yet again he was going to need some time off, and he needed to fill out the paperwork. So we drove back home, And at the time, my beautiful German Shepherd and my other Jack Russell Terrier were waiting for us. My Jack Russell kind of already had this look in his eye like he knew what was going on. He'd been through it before. And my German Shepherd proceeded to jump on a couch, stand on her hind paws, and hug me, which I'd never seen a dog do in my life. But in this case, apparently she knew something was wrong. We packed a few things, and I called the doctor to let him know that we were heading back to the hospital. We got back to the hospital, and they ended up putting us in the same room we had to deliver Junior in, which was a pretty scary thought, but that's the way it goes. We then proceeded to let our family know what was going on, and that yet again we'd have to give birth to her precious body. For several hours, every 4 hours, they gave me a type of medicine that would, so that I would dilate, and so that it'd be easier and the baby would come sooner, which wasn't fun. His mother came to visit me, and his father and his stepmother came to visit me as well. Not at the same time. His close friends, a couple of them came to visit me as I was trying not to lose it. The next morning, August 19th, 2011. I felt a very sharp pain, and I knew it was time. They didn't have time to give me any medicine. No epidural, no pain pills, nothing. The nurse checked, and she said the fluid sac had dropped. My husband's fluid sac, he was talking to his mother at the time, and his mother said, "I'll be right there." I laid back. She drove across town very quickly. I didn't even get busted by a cop, thank goodness for her. She made it just in time. She said she could hear me screaming all through the hospital. The way I got through it with no pain pills is beyond me. My husband was rubbing the inside of my leg, trying to keep me calm. And my mother-in-law made it just as the legs popped out. That's right, you heard me right. She came out breech, and her head got stuck. And I tried to keep as calm as I could as I had to push the head out. The nurse had my husband look away soon after that, as I had to push everything else out. They picked her up. She was a little bit bigger than Junior, so they were able to carry her a little bit. And they quickly took her away to clean her up best they could. As they were doing that, a nurse came and got me cleaned up. My mother-in-law stayed to visit for a little bit. I can't remember. I was so out of it that I couldn't remember if we let her hold her or not. They brought her back in after they did everything they needed to and laid her in my arms in her blanket. My husband laid down on the bed next to me. I looked down at her and saw that her eyes had started to develop, and she had my husband's beautiful green eyes. I wanted to so badly lose it. And then reached her over so he could hold her and bond with her. We talked to her as if her spirit was in the room, because that's how we felt. We had a few more visitors that got to hold her. Her grandpa even got to hold her for a few minutes. She'd been passed around so much that my husband was getting worried, and was so worried about how her little fragile body would handle it. So we put her in her little box. A few hours later had passed, and they came to tell us that it was time for her to leave us and for me to get ready to go home. I hadn't had a fever or anything like I did with Junior. That was good. Did kind of freak me out that everything that I loved was in that box and in that room. I went in to have a shower and get cleaned up. And as I turned the water on, I heard my husband crying. Not wanting to say goodbye. I asked him if he was okay. And of course the answer was no. I got out of the shower. And I had lost it, and I did not want to say goodbye myself. And we picked the same cremation home that had done Junior's. And our beautiful Erica with those haunting green eyes. As most of you know today, it's 2 years since we've lost her. And those haunting green eyes look at me, and I feel her with us. But again, the Creator needed her more than we needed her down here, or she was too perfect to be down here. Anyways, I hope this will help those that have gone before us and have had to deal with this. Whether you've had to do it once, or maybe even more times. We do it in celebration of her, Junior, the others that we've lost. We have some comfort that they do come and visit us. They've shown themselves. My husband's actually seen them. Once when he was baptized, and another time while sitting in the van wanting to talk to a friend on the phone. They literally opened a locked van door, scared the heck out of him. And all he saw was 3 spirits looking at him. Came in, we were visiting his grandma at the time. Came in the house, sheet red, or white, I should say. His cheeks were a little red. Scared. They had opened a locked door, waved, and disappeared. By this time we had also lost the dog. Tuesday had been called home too. He went back out to talk on the phone, and Tuesday, our beautiful German Shepherd was sitting in the passenger seat like she'd want to go for a ride. And she disappeared. They don't show themselves to me much because they know I would be scared, freaked out. But I know they're here. I've heard their voices. I have felt Tuesday kind of decide to herd me in the little tap that she would give to my leg. We've seen them since we've moved out here to Ohio. I have felt them protect me from the evil in this world. I have felt them with me when I am so upset that I can't think straight. I have felt Tuesday's little puppy spirit in the dog that I have now when I need her most. As I know, my husband's felt them too and seen them. But like I said, I hope this helps those who have lost either dogs or any kind of animal. I also hope this helps those who have lost those women who and other parents who've lost their children due to miscarriage or stillbirth, or even been able to have a few minutes with that baby alive before the baby passes. I know they're down here to get their little bodies or whatever. And then if they're too perfect, they're called back home to wait for us. But we love them. All of them. And they know that. And they send their love in mysterious ways. And I'm going to end this now before I completely lose it by thanking my husband for being there with me through this, not just now shooting the video, but through all of it. I know for some people this can ruin relationships, break up divorce, cause people to go through divorces because it's just so hard. I'm one of the lucky few who, through all the losses, children and the dog, and having to give up Zeus because of weird circumstances, we're still together. It makes us stronger, and I love him for it. And this is goodbye for now. I hope you find peace in this. Till next time. Bye bye.